Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Before we begin, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. Live with Kelly&Mark co-host and actor Mark Consuelos found himself in hot water with the producer. He's known for being loyal to his wife, Kelly Ripa. But what kind of trouble did he stir up? Keep watching for all the details on this incident. Nothing ever seems to be off-limits or off the table for Live with Kelly&Mark hosts, Mark Consuelos and Kelly Ripa. The pair has been married for almost 30 years and are a truly dynamic duo. Their chats are often relatable for couples and frequently comical. However, they also don't back away from more serious discussions or taboo subjects, which makes their banter even more exciting to watch. Of course, sometimes Kelly or Mark needs a day off. That's exactly what happened. On Thursday, August 7th, it was Consuelos who was flying solo while his wife was away. Substituting for Kelly was news anchor Elle Duncan, and Mark wasted no time jumping into one of his pet peeves. He explained to his guest co-host that he gets annoyed when a man can't provide a proper handshake. The 54-year-old mentioned that he taught his two sons how to shake hands from the very beginning. Consequently, this is a subject he takes very seriously. He proceeded to demonstrate for Elle the worst kind of male handshake, explaining it's when they just grasp the fingers lightly. "They grab my finger, making your handshake." Very flaccid, as Mark Consuelos delivered this line, he didn't just describe the motion, he performed it with a wince, grabbing Elle Duncan's fingers limply in a demonstration of the offending gesture. Elle Duncan, a seasoned broadcaster, handled the moment with professional grace, though her tight smile and quick pivot spoke volumes. "Wow, you really are passionate about that, Mark," she laughed, attempting to steer the conversation toward a lighter, less physically invasive topic. But Consuelos, sensing he had the audience, leaned in further, literally. This was the serious lean the text referred to. He didn't just shake her hand, he closed the space between them, his gaze intense, turning a simple handshake demo into a display of dominance. He was doing a lot, Elle noted, her voice maintaining its professional cheer, while her body language signaled a clear desire to move on. The audience, which had chuckled in agreement moments before, grew noticeably quieter. The energy had shifted from relatable pet peeve to uncomfortable power play. This awkwardness with Duncan, however, was minor league compared to the incident that truly had the production team buzzing, the jab at etiquette expert William Hanson. This is where Consuelos got very controversial with the producer. The segment, which had aired weeks prior, featured Hanson demonstrating the proper way to eat a banana, slicing it with a knife and fork. The clip itself was amusingly fussy, but Mark's reaction was disproportionately hostile. His comment, "I say William sits down when he pees as well. Stand up, William. How about that? Be a guy," was not an off-the-cuff remark. He delivered it while looking directly at longtime executive producer Michael Gelman, who sits just off camera. By prefacing it with, "I'm going to say something controversial because I know you can cut it out," Consuelos was doing something very specific. Live is a live-to-tape program. It films about an hour before it airs, giving producers a small window to edit for time or, in rare cases, glaring errors. Consuelos was not asking for permission. He was throwing down a gauntlet. He was acknowledging that his comment was inflammatory, linking a man's etiquette to his masculinity and even his bathroom habits, and then daring his producer to censor him. Gelman, of course, did not cut the comment. The Live brand, especially with Mark, is built on this very unscripted and off-limits energy. To cut the comment would be to admit it was over the line, something the show is loath to do. Instead, the show aired it, turning the producer into a silent accomplice in the controversial moment. It was a power play that reinforced Mark's alpha status, not just over his co-host or guests, but over the very production of the show. This aggressive "be a guy" philosophy is a core part of the persona Consuelos has cultivated, a stark contrast to the show's previous co-hosts. It's a brand that Kelly Ripa herself has both acknowledged and at times gently mocked. The text's reference to the purse incident on the airplane is another key example. In that story, Mark's decision to promptly remove another passenger's bag wasn't just about making space for his wife. It was, in his telling, a corrective action against a man exhibiting feminine behavior, i.e., carrying a purse. This duality is central to his appeal and his controversy. For nearly 30 years, audiences saw Mark Consuelos as the charming, handsome actor and devoted husband to the powerhouse Kelly Ripa. Now, as co-host, he presents a more complex, overpowering personality. He is still the devoted husband, but he is also the man who dictates handshake protocol, critiques the masculinity of other men, and seems fixated on a particular, old-school definition of manhood. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the August 7th episode was the audience's reaction, or lack thereof. The text notes that viewers did love the dynamic between Mark and Elle, and glossed over his overpowering behavior. This points to a significant disconnect between the chatter inside the industry and the reception from the show's core demographic. The live audience is famously loyal. They have weathered multiple co-host changes and programming shifts. For this audience, Mark's behavior may not register as toxic or overpowering. Instead, it's seen as just Mark being Mark, the relatable husband who is a little gruff, a little old-fashioned, but ultimately harmless. His alpha antics are viewed through the lens of his long-running, aspirational marriage to Kelly. He is the manly counterpoint to her bright, feminine energy. They see his rants about handshakes not as a display of dominance, but as a comical quirk. The chatter mentioned in the studio, however, was happening in different circles. On social media platforms like X, formerly Twitter, and Reddit, media critics and younger viewers were less forgiving. Clips of the handshake segment were dissected, with many users pointing out how uncomfortable Elle Duncan appeared. Is it just me, or was Mark Consuelos really out of line with Elle Duncan? One post read, garnering thousands of likes. He's always so alpha, it's exhausting. This is the tightrope Live with Kelly&Mark now walks. The show's new identity is intrinsically tied to the eyebrow-raising humor of its new co-host. The program, once a safe and breezy morning staple, now regularly flirts with controversy. The William Hanson comment and the handshake demonstration are not isolated incidents. They are data points in a larger pattern of behavior that Consuelos has embraced. The show's producers, led by Gelman, seem content to let this play out. The controversial moments, after all, generate chatter. They make headlines, create viral clips, and keep the show in the cultural conversation in a way that conversations about new recipes or celebrity interviews no longer do. Mark's willingness to go there is, from a production standpoint, a feature, not a bug. Yet the risk is significant. The show's charm has always been its ability to feel like a warm, welcoming, and safe part of viewers' mornings. Consuelos' alpha male brand, with its casual mockery of perceived femininity and its emphasis on physical dominance, threatens to alienate the very audience that has kept the show on the air for decades. For now, Mark Consuelos remains the charming co-host who has, as the text notes, been a familiar face for decades. His charm is his armor, allowing him to push boundaries that other hosts couldn't. The question that remains as the show moves forward into the fall 2025 season is how long that charm will hold. Will the alpha antics that drive viral clips eventually curdle the show's relatable appeal, or has Mark Consuelos simply redefined what morning television can be? The chatter is only getting louder, and it's clear that everyone, from the audience to the producers, is waiting to see just how far he will go.